Hello and welcome into the Sherwood Ford the Giant pregame show. We got a bit of a different crew here today. It is myself, Zach Lang, along with Rick, and we're going to break down the game coming up here tonight. The Oilers got a big one against the St. Louis Blues. Of course, the Oilers are coming into this game riding a big home winning streak. St. Louis is coming in a little bit shaky. Rick, what do you think about the matchup here tonight?
You know what? I'm feeling good about the way things are going right now. I think St. Louis has an injury or two right now. We're riding a hot streak. We're going on the road after this. It's one last chance to get a win under our belt in a stadium that we try and make very difficult for everybody else. So I think it's one last chance to leave home on a winning note, and I think the boys are ready to do it.
Absolutely, Rick, and you make a good point, too, about, wanting to make Rogers Place a difficult place to play. It's something that the Oilers talked about after their last game. Leon Draisaitl and Jay Woodcroft both kind of made some comments about how, they want Rogers Place to be tough to play, and I think we're finally starting to see that happening here. It's really great to see because for so long, it's almost been a home ice disadvantage at times, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, before we got in this, I guess during the 2-13 or whatever, everyone's kind of down. You still had the COVID hangover. Everyone's a little bit quieter. But I think now that the sun's come out, the snow's going away, the boys are playing well, the playoffs are on the horizon, the fans are ready to roll. All that rolled into one, and this is not a fun place to come into if you're an away team.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's take a look at the opposition report here today. The St. Louis Blues are coming in. They're 3-2 in their last 5. They're coming off a bit of a 2-game winning streak here with a home and away game set against the Vancouver Canucks. They won 4-1 and 4-3 in those 2 games. But interestingly enough for the Blues, they might be without Jordan Kyrou. He's day-to-day here today, and they might be going with Jordan Binnington in net. Rick, when you look at their lineup, what kind of jumps out to you about the Blues right now?
You know what? They're always a bit of a veteran squad. They're a little bit bigger. They can always really just tough it out against you if you're not ready for it. But I feel like, the boys have some confidence in them right now, and they're moving their feet out there, and I think we can take advantage of a St. Louis team right now.
Yeah, I think so too. There's a lot of things to really like about this matchup here for the Oilers. Of course, Jordan Binnington in net. He's a guy that's really struggled for the Blues this year, and his name is kind of snuck into some trade talk here as well. You look at the way Ville Husso's played. He's been the obvious number 1 for them this season. What have you thought about the way that their kind of goaltending situation is shaken out here?
It's weird because you had a guy like Binnington who was kind of in the the afterthought at the point. He got called up. They go on a cup run. All of a sudden, he's the big name. Gets his big contract. I think this is year 1 of his big contract, and it's almost tough on the team when you have a young kid coming up and all of a sudden grabbing the spot. You've got the guy who just won you the cup. He's got his big contract, and then you got this young kid kind of pushing him out of his place right now. It's an interesting time for St. Louis. I'm sure those guys they work well together, but at the same time, they both want the job. And come this time next year, they're not going to be able to both be there. So right now, it's interesting how they pick who they're going to put in net against what teams out there.
Yeah, no doubt. And for the Oilers today, the home lineups as presented by Jagberger as well. We take a look at the Edmonton Oilers. A few minor changes here to the lineup. We got Zach Kassian drawing in on the third line right wing spot, bumping Josh Archibald down in the lineup. It looks like the healthy scratches tonight are going to be Derek Ryan and Devin Shore. When you look at that change, what do you think about getting Kassian back in that third line spot? He's been a healthy scratch last couple games and bumping down Archibald.
He's looked a little bit better lately. He's had a little more jump in his game, out there banging, crashing a little bit. I'm not sure really what got him going now as opposed to a year ago or 2 years ago, but it is what it is. I'm not a huge fan of that third line right now. But hey, listen, this is a team against St. Louis that, they're a good team. That third line is going to have to go out there and do their job. And I can see them going out there a lot of 5-on-5 minutes, some D-zone starts, and they're going to hang out with them.
Well, it's interesting, too, because we saw Puljujarvi down on that third line, and it was only one game that we really got to see him with Nugent Hopkins and Brassard, and we saw how dynamic that group was as a third line. I think it's really interesting the way Kassian's been under Jay Woodcroft. He's missed a couple of games as a healthy scratch, and on top of that, they seem to be asking him to play a little bit of a different role as of late, too. Obviously, Kassian's still got that big contract. You have to wonder if this offseason, if he's a guy the team maybe looks to move on from to clear up some space.
You know what? I think they do. I think it's already been out there. They were looking to move him a little bit. like the player when he's playing his game, but right now in this cap world, that contract kind of it gets in the way. And a guy who can be a healthy scratch, I'm sorry, at 3 1/4 or whatever exactly it is, you might have to move on from that. So I can see Zach going in the summertime.
Yeah, me too. I think it's something the team really needs to take a long, hard look at here. I know last year there was some rumors around the expansion draft about the Rangers being interested. They ended up going with Ryan Reeves, but you never know. Maybe that's a spot that they look to go to in the offseason. Now, we have Mike Smith starting in net for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. In his last 5 games, he's 2-2-2 with a .902 save percentage, and somehow he's got 6 penalty minutes in his last 5 games. Kind of a wild one for a goaltender to see. What have you thought about Smith's game as of late and the goaltending situation as a whole?
The situation as a whole, man, it's tough. It's tough. We know both goaltenders can look really good at times, and we know both goaltenders can lay a flat egg. I don't know how. I'm glad I'm not Woodcroft in this situation. I don't know how you go and choose a goalie, and when you choose the goalie, I try not to get too up or down about the choice, and I'll judge it in hindsight. But goalies are voodoo, man. It's tough. I guess at this rate, you just want to make sure that
what's going on here?
you want to make sure he is over here.
Buddy?
What's up, boys?
We found Jay. We found Jay.
There we go.
How are we doing, everyone?
We had a 1 o'clock start time, and he was downstairs having a meeting. I know. I tried to give him a.
All right.
Yeah. I tried to give you all a text there.
I'll take a knee there.
Yeah.
So
Just
Jay,
walk downstairs.
we were just talking about the goaltending situation for the Oilers. Mike Smith is getting the start here tonight. What do you think about that? What do you think about the goaltending situation as a whole here?
This is a big game. This is a must-win game. What's happening and what's so annoying is, God damn you, Flames. You do this to us on Saturday, and then you can't beat a depleted Los Angeles Kings, which now makes tonight's game almost a must-win. Dallas won last night. We have to keep Vegas at bay. We have to keep the White Knight, the Dark Knight, all the Knights at bay.
Well, it'll be interesting to see because they take on the Seattle Kraken tonight. The Kraken just got eliminated from the playoffs. This is a spot where let's see if Seattle can really help out the Oilers here. As you mentioned, we're now 3 points back of LA for the second spot in the Pacific. Calgary. And Vegas is nipping on our heels at 78 points.
We have 2 games in hand with LA now, don't we?
Yes, we still do have 2 games in hand.
But you have to win those games. That's the thing.
One, we play them next week, so that one's a huge one, obviously. Yeah. And I think, as much as tonight we really, really want to win, I think you need your goaltender ready for Sunday. Anaheim is a have to win. That's when you got to beat those guys below you. It's going to be a great test tonight against St. Louis. They're right there with us. Standings, I think they're 83 to 81 points.
Yeah,
we're right there. It's going to be a great game against us.
Well, we need the battler to battle. This is a game we need to win because we've got, the schedule after this for the next couple of games we know is slightly easy, and then it gets really tough. So we need to rack up some wins before we hit that really tough stretch.
We play those tough teams well, though.
I know, and
Carolina,
Colorado's going to be without McKinnon.
Colorado.
That's good.
He's actually
back.
back.
He's back. He played last night.
Oh, is he back?
He played last night.
He didn't even miss a
Poor
game.
intel. Oh, God.
Well, we got to stop reading to other coaches, right? Because at first it was like
I read into everything. I'm nervous. I'm scoreboard watching every night.
The Eichel injury, and the coach was like, oh, my God, this is the worst thing in the world, and he's back. And then McKinnon, they're like, oh, my God, and we got all excited. Now he's back.
To be fair, Colorado did send him home in the middle of a road trip. So when that happens, that's one of those situations where it's like, okay.
Yeah, because every time we do that, Nuge is out for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
yes, that's what we're used to.
But he's day-to-day, though, right? He's day-to-day, and then all of a sudden
day-to-day till 3 days from now. Then it's now it's week to week.
But you look at it for the Oilers. Obviously, we got St. Louis tonight, and then we got the California road trip. So the Oilers are heading out to Anaheim, San Jose, and LA. Those games are on Sunday, Tuesday, and next Thursday. That's going to be a massive 3 games here for the Oilers. Anaheim has kind of kept their heads around for a while, but they've fallen out. San Jose's fallen out. Then obviously that LA game is going to be massive. Like that's again another one of those biggest games of the year. So
I like it.
This is what scares me about Anaheim. Their last 10, they're 0-7-3.
Yeah.
We love breaking streaks. We just love it.
Trap game, maybe.
Yeah, we got to win that
right?
one.
But, you look at St. Louis again coming in tonight on the road. They haven't been anything special this year, 16-11-5. The Oilers sitting at home right now, 22, 12, and 0. That's really impressive, and we're going to see how
this
that
is not
ranks
the
up.
18-19 Blues is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, pretty much. They're a much different
Who's
team
in
than
net
they
for
used to
them?
be. Jordan
Binnington.
Binnington.
Good. That's good, I think. Because
It's
Husso's
good.
been hot for them, hasn't he?
Well, they got to go back to back, right? They play Calgary tomorrow night, so
I believe so, yeah.
So this is good. No, this is bad. So we're going to beat St. Louis tonight, and then they're going to go down to Calgary and lose. But I guess I have to come to grips with the fact we're not catching
I
Calgary.
think last time they played in Calgary, they lost 7-1.
Yeah.
And Binnington was in net for all 7.
Yikes.
So why can't we do that to him tonight?
Yeah, no, we need to light up Binnington because he hasn't been like this.
Dude,
has been
he's-
his best season.
He's shaky between the ears. I think you can get his
Rattle him.
grill.
Rattle him.
You know, let's
Yeah.
get in there.
Get
Let's
the booty
in early.
RV. Get the booty RV in front
get
of him.
him right at the top of the blue.
Love it. How mad do you think Tyler is that we're just totally corrupted his show?
I hope he's watching right now. Tyler, if you're watching, we love you. We hope you're feeling better. And
It's
we're
probably the
ruining your
best
show.
pregame show ever.
I think
by the
so.
way.
I think
Yeah.
so.
I think so too. And honestly, it's hilarious because we walked in the studio. I thought we were doing ONR, so I was not prepared for the pregame
we
show.
I'm
just-
10 minutes late.
Yeah, we just do it. It's fine.
So we're winging it.
This is how the whole company's been built for like 12 years like this.
I mean, to be fair,
On a whim.
you're not wrong.
So what's next? What do we got here?
Next up, we got the points bet of the game. Obviously, the most important thing for us degenerate gamblers here. The Oilers are coming into this game. Rick, do you got the lines up there?
The lines, yes, I do have the lines as soon as the reloads for me.
Courtesy
here.
of PointsBet, all of our Ontario audience, April 4th,
Firth?
April 4th, PointsBet is live in Ontario, so go check them out. Download the app.
What
We're gonna
about
be
us over
promoting.
here? Do we have a bit of an
They're
idea?
coming. They're coming.
Is this
It's
this year something?
It's weird how it's working in Canada. I wish just the
green light all of Canada. and not do
the federal government
province
says
by
it's
province?
legal, so why not let it happen? But it's
Exactly.
being broken down by province, so we got to ride the wave, man.
I dig it.
The Oilers are coming into this game as pretty heavy favorites on the money line. Nice minus 160. Blues plus 135 on the money line right now. We got a line of over 6.5 here.
I think you got
I
to hit
hate
it.
6.5.
I've been losing my shirt on the under, thinking we're going to tighten up defensively, and then I stared at our goals against, and I'm like, we are not going to tighten up defensively.
It's over. Both teams are they're both riding over hits right now.
Yeah, I really like the over in this game too, especially with Binnington and Smith in net.
But I hate 6.5.
I always get scared. With
I'm an
the
old
two.
man. I remember doing like 5.5 was big. You got a 6, you're like, oh my god, this is the craziest thing in the world. Now 6.5 is average.
Well, and you look
Yeah.
at it too, like across the league this year, this is like I think this is the highest scoring year in the cap era.
Good.
It's been kind of wild. to
Goals are
see.
good. Goals are great for the game.
Absolutely.
How are they for the heart?
Oh, they're stressful.
Oh,
Very stressful.
yeah,
stressful.
no, but you know what? If as long as you come out on top, the stress is worth it.
How do we feel about maybe a spread play tonight? Minus 1.5, plus 170.
Yeah, that's juicy enough that I'm going to dabble with that because if we're going to beat the Blues, we are going to beat the Blues.
I think so too. I think that's one that I might drop a couple of bucks on here tonight. I think it's a good spot. I think it can be a tight game leading up to the end there. You know, if the Oilers have that late game lead, we'll see if the puck line gods can come in our favor here this evening and get us maybe an empty netter at the end of the game.
Well, Leon 50 watch, you know that's
Oh,
coming.
yeah.
Stay tuned
Plus
for what's about to
800
drop after
plus
that.
800 for first time or first goal.
Ooh, that's juicy
Ooh,
too.
that's really juicy.
Minus 117 for any time. I think
so
you got to take the any time.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you got to sprinkle on the first goal.
I've been having a guy who's been just nailing the first goal predictions and making some hay is our boy Bearded Brad. He inspired me, and I did it once, and I hit it with Connor McDavid scoring first couple games ago. So I think I might play that game again. And you got to ride the Leon 50 wave here. Plus
absolutely.
800, that is juicy. So you want Leon's 50th goal to be on home ice, and you want it to be a profitable goal. So let's bet on it.
I wanted it to be a power play goal last week.
Oh,
Or
he had
last
some-
game
he had so many
to
good
make-
chances.
to make Connor's 100 points and Leon's 50 goals be the exact same goal.
and
then-
before Matthews.
And then you got to
Yeah.
cut the puck in half, and I don't think you do it this way. You do it that way, so you get like thinner versions of it. They both got to take half of it home. That would have been perfect.
That,
like
yeah,
that.
that would have been a storybook game. What's driving me nuts right now is Eastern Canadian, mainly Leafs fans, are wanting to make Austin Matthews' 50th goal a national holiday, and it is driving me nuts. It's as if no one in the entire NHL, in the history of the NHL, has scored 50 goals
Well,
before.
it's actually interesting. Bagged Milk made a point on Twitter the other day. Austin Matthews is actually the first player to ever score 50 goals in a season.
It's impressive.
It's really impressive.
No
You know?
one's brought up the fact that there was not a goaltender in the net
Yeah, I know.
oh,
it's
yeah.
kind of wild.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
for
yeah.
2 of his last 3.
I know. One other bet that I'm actually keeping an eye on, guys, Jesse Puljujarvi to get a point. Minus 110. He's riding shotgun with McDavid. How can you not put some money on that?
Yeah,
and
puck can go off his skate. He might even score.
I had Puljujarvi point last game, and I got robbed by that one.
That was a terrible call.
That
So
was
upset.
BS.
Terrible
That was
call.
BS.
It's
And that
not 1999 again. Come on.
and that robbed me of my Oilers in regulation.
Oh man, that's a heartbreaker.
I was
right there.
devastating because I was betting. I sometimes I bet for the outcome I won, which is always the Oilers to win, but I wanted the Oilers to win regulation because that put us ahead of LA.
Absolutely.
We should have. 2 whoopses in our own end. Otherwise, that's 3-1 and much different game.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that about wraps it up for the Sherwood Ford the Giant pregame show today. A little bit of a ragtag group here today.
Love it.
Myself, Rick, and Jay.
Ragtag is okay.
Yeah, Liam producing this one here for us. Let's see what happens tonight. Let's see if the Oilers can come out on top with another big win.